So, if you want to buy a chateau in France or any home for that matter, it's a little different than in the United States. That's because in the United States, we have something called the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service. Every time a real estate agent who is part of the MLS, which is most of them, inputs listing information, it goes out to all of the real estate websites. France does not have a centralized MLS type system. So, that means each brokerage basically posts their own listings, but there are a couple of websites that will share some of them, though there's not one that will search all. So today we are going to go through some of those properties to get a look at what's out there and how the search works. So as you can see from where we're at right now, this website is called Green Acres. This has a little bit of everything in it, and you can begin your search by location if you know specifically where you would like to be or in the region. But we're going to say that I don't, and that I'm looking for a house because Chateau is not listed as an option. Luxury properties is, but that doesn't always mean 100% of Chateau. So we're going to do that. We'll type in a theoretical price for what that would be worth. Say we're going from 650 900. That's pretty broad. Let's change it to 800. And we're going to change that to US dollars. And we hit search and let's see what comes up. So we've got a lot of properties. Once you get off that first page, you can go through and adjust it a little bit. So I want a lot of bedrooms, minimum 5. If I could change it to be higher, I would. Land, so it goes again by meters square. So if you're in the United States and you want at least an acre, you want to shoot for at least about 4,000 meters squared. I want a minimum of an acre. Bigger's great, but let's go with a minimum. I don't know that we want endless amounts. Let's just cap it just in case there's an option with a lot. Living space. If you have about a 300 meters square, that's roughly, okay, I don't know the numbers specifically, but that's a pretty good size house. I want a big one, so we're going to say at least 400 meters squared, and let's just see what this brings us. 92. Those are some good options, and these are all about $700,000. Beautiful places. See, here's small castle on a wooden garden, over 7,700 meters squared. That's 425 meters squared interior. It'll give you all these options. You can scroll through without having to click on it. And you'll notice in the lower corner of each of these pictures on the Green Acres website, you will see a little circle. Not all of them, like this one doesn't have it. This first property we see here, but a lot of them have a little circle that shows you the brokerage that it's from. A lot of them are independent brokerages. Of course, that's a Compass. Lots of options. Here's a beautiful one. This one is exclusive, it says, to a certain real estate agency. So we'll click on it. 18th century Chateau, 22,000, almost 23,000 meters squared. Wow. Living area 490, 7 bedrooms, listed at 690 euros. Another thing you'll notice as you're looking at Chateau, they will not give you the exact location. Any house will not give you the exact location. It's much more secretive. Why? I don't know, because they're French. In the United States, it's here's the address, look it up, drive by, check out the backyard, check out the neighborhood. Not so with France. It will sometimes break it down by region and by village, and if you're really good and crafty at looking at Google Maps, you can usually find it. So if you really want to see where it's at, especially if you're looking from the US, if you're over there, even still, it's a good idea before you start asking the real estate agent, would you meet me there? Because apparently they're not as hard up for work as some real estate agents in the US, and you will have to essentially beg sometimes to get them to show you a property. This one is absolutely amazing, is it not? And they don't give you as many photos always, but that's an option. This one is Green Acres. Let's go to another website. Here is FrenchProperty.com. This one is similar to Green Acres. It will give you a wide range. So we're going to do the same thing. Turn that down. Okay, we're going to say 750 to $1 million. Let's go big. How many bedrooms? I want at least 7. And I don't have a maximum. Keywords. Let's do a keyword. Chateau. Let's spell it right. Chateau. And let's look, see what we get. And on this website, between my price range, I typed in 750 to $1 million and 7 beds. Keyword Chateau. 1 came up. It surprises me, but let's look at it. 8 bedrooms, 4 baths, 2.2 hectare. It looks adorable. Beautiful little wraparound porch, gorgeous stairs. Very nice. Obviously lived in. Sometimes you get these places that have been abandoned for some time, and those are a little more scary to purchase. But if you're very handy and you know someone that is, you might as well go for it. So this is the average chateau that you will see. Let's look at one more website. This one is sponsored by a real estate agency. So this one is Leggett, and they're a pretty big agency. They've got brokerage offices all over France. There's quite a bit. They're very professional, amazing people. They have a great network of agents, and their offices work really well together. So this would be a great one to reach out to. Again, we're on the buy page. So where? I'm not sure, but what? We can select castle. Let's do that. And how much? Let's max it out at 700,000 euros. 24 results. I like the sound of that. Okay, so right away, when this comes up, it automatically translates. It says at the top, French to English. Thank you very much. The first 2, I had just looked at these a couple of weeks ago, and they're under contract now. That's what that sous compromis is, under contract. But there's a couple more, 699. This one was just reduced. We've got a couple more. Some of these you do need to be careful. Some of these are 1-room apartments or other apartments within a chateau that they're selling. So they have been spliced up. So don't look at the pictures like this one, 466,600. Oh my gosh, a whole chateau for that? No. Read the words. Renovation, 1-bedroom apartment, ground floor parking. You're getting a 1-bedroom apartment, not a chateau. Not the entire chateau. If that's what you're looking for, keep the search going. Here's another one. This one is sold. This one's beautiful. Let's watch. Let's look at this one. 583,000 euro. 19 rooms, 15 bedrooms. Exterior, 3.66 hectare. Wow. It's amazing. Oh, I love these aerial shots. It gives you kind of a nice view of what's nearby. It's Chateau for sale. It says the town. It says it's in the Dordogne. So this is southwest France. Beautiful gate out front. Oh my gosh. Sold, right? And another thing to look for as you're just starting your search, you start to look at, okay, and I'm a real estate agent by trade here in the US, so I already know to look for certain problems. Look at the roof here. It's an amazing shape. You can see all the tiles. This isn't the whole roof, but you can see part of it. Like, okay, that's a great start. But it's lived in, it's taken care of, it's clean. A good sanding on that floor would get that right up, I bet. A little bit of work yet, get that wallpaper off the wall. But you know that essentially this should hopefully be livable, and there is a description. So we scroll down to the description. 15-bedroom chateau, private elevated setting, south-facing countryside views, enormous development potential, escape to the countryside. Yes, yes, yes. Connected to electricity, running water. It's already connected. That's a big bonus. You will also see, okay, as you start looking at these properties, it will say the sale price, and it will also say fees. So in the US, at this point in time, all sellers pay for the most part, pay the real estate commission, and that commission is split up between buying agent and selling agent. Well, it is different in France. In France, you approach the agent listing it for sale. You don't come in with your own. So in this case, The seller has signed on with an agent or an agency, Leggett, and so it's listed for sale. Fees, 6%. You see that 6% tax included, responsibility of buyer. The buyer pays the entire brokerage fee. The seller does not. So that's not to say the seller doesn't have some costs, because they do. There's no tear fees and all that once you start moving along. That's something to watch for when you're looking at the prices. You see sale price and you see the price with those fees. So to start doing that math and start thinking about, do I want to pay all those fees? Is that percentage negotiable? If I were in this position, I would start negotiating that fee. If it's all paid by me, I didn't sign on to list it. I shouldn't have to be forced to pay whatever. And maybe that's how it works. But until you get into it, you don't know. Okay, so those are 3 websites that I hope help you in your search as you begin to look for whether it's a chateau or a home, a cottage in the country, anything in France, to understand that it's a little different than it is here in the US. And it takes some exploring. And I think if you stick with one of these three websites, they're going to give you the majority of homes for sale, of properties for sale. There are many more. And if you have other websites that you go to that you think are helpful, please go into the comments and leave them for me. I would love your suggestions of what other websites to look for, because I know there are so many out there, and these are the 3 that I go to most. But if you have something better, please let me know, and we will continue our fair search for our places in France together.